Good day, everyone. We are Group 5. Thank you for joining our presentation on effective educational leadership. In this opening segment, we will define effective leadership in a school context and outline 3 core leadership traits that research has identified as important. Start with definition of effective leadership in education. What do we mean by effective leadership in a school setting? According to Lesu and Zhanzi, effective school leaders do much more than manage daily operations. They cultivate a shared vision for improvement, inspire their teachers, and drive gains in student achievement. This definition emphasizes that leadership in education is about building commitment to a collective mission and then empowering staff to achieve that mission. Research supports that such visionary and inspirational leadership leads to a better teaching and learning outcomes. Now that we know what effective leadership looks like, what personal qualities enable leaders to do this? The next slides will introduce 3 key traits that successful educational leaders consistently demonstrate. The first essential trait is resilience. Leading a school is challenging, from policy changes and budget cuts to unexpected crises. An education leader faces many setbacks. Resilience is the capacity to overcome these challenges and persist in the face of adversity. An effective principal, for example, might encounter deep intake scores or pushbacks on a new policy, but they bounce back, learn from setbacks, and keep moving forward toward the school's goals. Michael Fullan describes an effective principal as an agent of change, who moves people and organizations forward under difficult conditions. This underscores that resilience is fundamentally about perseverance. A resilient school leader maintains optimism and focus. They continue to push for improvement, even when circumstances are tough. By modeling calm and determination, the leader instills confidence in teachers and students alike that challenges can be overcome. In sum, resilience enables a leader to sustain a long-term vision, ensures that short-term obstacles do not derail the school's progress toward better outcomes. Core trait 2 is communication. The second key trait is strong communication. Even the best vision will falter if it isn't communicated clearly and convincingly. Effective leaders are also good communicators. They clearly articulate goals and expectations and engage in meaningful conversations with stakeholders, so they all have an accurate understanding of the vision and they are low wasting it. According to Robinson, leaders who communicate clearly and actively listen to their staff are better able to build trust and instructional capacity among them. For example, when implementing a new curriculum, effective leaders in education might clearly explain to teachers the purpose and benefits of it, fully discuss issues at staff meetings, even holding parent forums to answer questions from parents. Such transparency and openness build trust. In summary, communication is the bridge between vision and execution. Without it, even the best thought-out strategy may not translate into better results. Core trait 3 is collaboration. The third core trait is collaboration. It is difficult for a leader to achieve a vision without collaborating with others. Collaboration in this context means actively engaging staff, students, and the community as partners in the school's journey. Effective leaders foster a culture of teamwork. They encourage teachers to collaborate on lesson planning, promote student voice in school's decisions, and build strong relationships with parents and community members. Fullan highlights that cooperation, open communication, and shared responsibility among educators can significantly influence educational outcomes. In other words, when a principal cultivates a collaborative environment where teachers work together, share ideas, and support each other, both teaching quality and student achievement improve. Collaboration also means shared leadership, empowering others in the school. For example, a principal might establish teacher leadership teams or student councils, showing trust in others' expertise. This inclusive approach creates a sense of ownership, Staff and students feel invested in the school's success. By engaging the whole school community, an effective leader ensures that shared vision is implemented collectively. The school becomes a cohesive unit working toward common goals. Thus, collaboration is the trait that turns a leader's vision into a live reality, through collective effort and mutual support. We will now move forward. Thank you for your attention. Next, my colleague will discuss the distributed leadership.
Hello everyone, thank you Chen Ken sharing some important knowledge to us. Now I will continue the presentation for you. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Liang Yanhua. You can call me Nico. I'm from Hebei, China. Before coming to Malaysia, I worked as a Chinese teacher in an international school in Beijing for 8 years. You can see the group photo of me and my students in the picture above. We were a great family. I will feel very happiness with them day and day. When they finish their 6-year study, their parents to present a sick banner to express gratitude to me. I'm really passionate about teaching in order to pursue personal growth and provide children with a better learning experience. I came to UMM for study. The picture at the lower right shows my personal hobbies. I like all activities that allow me to calm down and concentrate on doing. So, okay, now let us move to knowledge learning time. Today, I'm going to introduce to you one of the leadership models of effective leadership, which is distributed leadership. Class begin. Are you ready? Okay. Let's start by talking about traditional leadership first. You know how in schools or organizations, the principal or few top leaders make most decisions. That's the old way, forcing on one person's role and hierarchy. Distributed leadership is different. It's not about one leader doing everything. Instead, leadership is shared by many people in the team. It means using the skills and ideas of everyone, not just those with formal titles like principal or manager. For example, teachers, staff, or even students might all play a part in leading or making decisions. A researcher named James Bell said something important. Distributed leadership is about what people do. It falls on the action, not just who has the title. It's not about roles or rules first. It's about how people work together day to day. The key idea here is interaction. Leadership happens when people talk, collaborate, and influence each other. Leaders don't act alone. Their actions depend on what others do. For example, if a teacher and a principal work together to improve a lesson, their back and forth creates leadership as a team effort. This interdependence means everyone's input matters and no one person carries all the responsibility. In simple terms, distributed leadership is about sharing the leadership work across a team, using everyone's strengths through collaboration instead of relying on one leader at the top. So, distributed leadership improves educational leadership by making decisions through teamwork instead of just a few people. Letting teachers, students, and staff share ideas and work together. It encourages innovation by giving educators freedom to design curriculums and or plan activities. So everyone feels responsible and creates better solutions like personalized support for students. It also makes the organization stronger by spreading leadership across the team, no longer relying on one leader. So people work together as a network to solve problems quickly. Finally, it replaces one size fits all management with personalized help where teachers design plans that fit each student's needs by breaking down hierarchy and empowering everyone to contribute. Distributed leadership turns leadership into a shared effort, making schools more efficient and focused on students. So the case this article still studies 8 inclusive STEAM high schools in the US, showing that distributed leadership by using flexible management structures and shared goals breaks traditional top-down hierarchy by letting administrators, teachers, and the community share leadership, creating a supportive, collaborative culture. These schools hire teachers who align with the school's values, design hands-on projects that mix subjects like math and science, such as solving real-world problems or building robots. Bringing in community STEAM resources like cooperative internships or university partnerships, and offer programs to help teachers become leaders such as one campus training or emerging leader opportunities. By doing this, they reshape how students, teachers, and knowledge interact, making everyone feel part of a larger shared mission. The results, these schools share in creative teaching, students' grades, and college admissions, especially opening more STEAM opportunities for underrepresented students. The key idea is that distributed leadership builds an open, collaborative, and outward looking education ecosystem, which boosts the school's effectiveness and helps students. So, distributed leadership has both good and bad sides. On the one hand, it encourages new ideas from the bottom of the organization and gives professionals more freedom in their work. It also builds a stronger, more academic organization by having different teams work together and share resources, which is great for handling complex situations or meeting individual needs. But on the other hand, it has problems. Decisions take longer because more people need to agree and it costs more to coordinate everyone. There's also a risk that no one takes clear responsibility, and leadership might become weaker if too many people are in charge. It relies a lot on a culture of trust, and sometimes resources or skills aren't shared fairly among the group. So, in the conclusion, distributed leadership has many advantages, like making organizations more igniting and encouraging new ideas. But it also has challenges. Whether it works well depends on how well people coordinate, whether their trust in the culture, and how skilled team members are. So, organizations should think carefully about their goals, how complicated their situation is, and what resources they have. They should make changes slowly and create support system. This way, they can get the most from distributed leadership and avoid potential problems. So I finished my part. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.
Today, I would like to share with you the successful experience of the Finnish education model. Okay. Finnish education has achieved remarkable results internationally and often ranks among the top in the PISA test. Its dropout rate is only 2.8%, which is far lower than the OECD average of 12%. The core of the success of Finnish education lies in fully trusting teachers and decentralized decision makings. Okay, these degree stable characters of Finnish education leadership have a highly professional teaching team, a decentralized management model for teacher empowerment, focused on cooperation and trust, student-centered educational purpose. The concept of less is more proposed by Shelberg, reduced machine memory and implies deep understanding and critical thinking. Okay, Finnish teachers enjoy a very high professional students and autonomy. The country requires teachers to have a master's degree, and the entry completion ratio is approximately 1 to 10. The government also provides each
each teacher with a professional development fund of 1,200 every year. Teachers can not only independently design course syllabi and select teaching materials, but also decide on the form of examination. For example, teachers in middle school in Helsinki combined word or history with graphic design. Students understood historical evidence by designing warm time portal, and the project results were collected by local message rooms. In terms of curriculum decision making, finalized adopts decentralized management approach. The 2014 national curriculum only stipulates 10 periods of the core content, and the remaining 90% is decided independently by school. Co-education barriers allocate burgers according to the needs of students, and the central government does not directly interfere in school operations. Under this model, Finland is quite different from the traditional model in cultural development. Evaluation methods and resource allocation. For instance, the curriculum is designed independently by teachers and the school. The evaluation is mainly based on process assessment and teacher leadership. And the resource allocation pays more attention to local dominance and balances. Finland has also implemented a series of effective strategies. First, it simplifies the cultural content and adopts the phenomenon-based teaching method. Integrate multidisciplinary knowledge around real-world problems. Take temporary in elementary school as an example. With some sustainable community, students complete projects by mission energy, conception science, decision transportation plans, interviewing residents, and finally submitting proposals to the city hall. Second, it reduces standardized examinations. Finnish students only have two to three conference assessments per year, and the student excited in this data index is only 18%, which is far lower than the international average of 31%. Third is the balanced education results by implementing a teacher rotation policy. Experienced teachers are rotated to remote areas every 3 to 5 years, and the government subsidizes 20% of their series. As a result, the difference rate of hardware velocity between urban and rural schools in Finland is less than 5%, which is far lower than the international average of 25%. The bar chart shows the ranks of Finland, China, the United States, and Japan in 2018. Finland all enters the top 10. Finnish students recorded 82 on the complex problem-solving ability test, which was higher than the OECD average of 65. However, the Finnish education model also faced some challenges and controversies. In terms of challenges, the master's level teacher training less like to the government's annual education expenditure accounting for 7.2% of GDP, which is higher than the OECD average of 5.2%, resulting in cost pressure. In addition, due to the lack of teacher experience in some remote areas, the teaching quality fluctuated. The control overseas mainly focused on cultural dependence. Some people believe that the Finnish Finnish model relies on its high social trust and low vacancy gap. However, Scherberger responded that its core concepts can be applied to any country, but need to be adjusted in combination with local culture. Overall, the Finnish education model provides us with valuable experience in aspects such as teacher empowerment, value reform, and resource quality. These experiences are of great science fiction for other countries to improve their education system and enhance the quality of education. Thank you all.
Hello everyone, my name is Ding Yongtao. We will learn about the education reform in Thailand. Since the 1990s, Southeast Asia has experienced rapid economic growth. Thailand sought to cultivate talent to drive its economy and integrate educational reforms. However, Thailand's Provo's education system was not strong. Resources were unevenly distributed, and teaching methods were monotonous, resulting in students who lacked competitiveness internationally. Moreover, with changes in society and politics, educational growth also needed to evolve among two natural individuals with a sense of responsibility and capable of taking action. Canada has done two important things. First, the scope of free education has expanded. Previously, it was only free from kindergarten to sixth grade in primary school. Now it is free throughout all levels, allowing equal changes to attend the school. Second, the Educational Management Authority has been delegated to local governments, bringing them to management education themselves. This way, remote areas can receive more resources and everyone can access education more fairly. After the reform, students has changed significantly. Probably they relied on rapid memorization, but now they can use what they have learned to self-purpose, becoming smart and more creative. This way, uh, when they into society, they can better handle rivals, tenders, and perform better in their students. The reform has also made students more responsible, knowing what is right and wrong. Moreover, there is no greater constant for whether students are happy and healthy, allowing them to develop comprehensively. Educational reform has transformed the work of school leaders in the past. It was all about administrative management, but now they must lead everyone in the reform process. This requires the leaders to have new ideas, know how to manage people, allow the kids resources effectively, and help teachers teach better. Confidence will run driving the reform process and leaders must resolve them. They face many new challenges, so continuous learning is essential to run the school run. Canada's educational reform is all in society is the society is constantly evolving and reforms must keep pace. As there's changes, it's important to frequently assess whether the reforms are effective and meet the needs of national development. In the future, technology will advance future and society will continue to transform. Calendar leaders to explore new educational methods to nurture innovative talent. The national is to ensure more in international exchanges, learn from others' successful experiences, and enhance the competitiveness of education. Teacher. You next partner.
Thank you for the narration by your classmate now. I will continue to explain. My name is Song Xinzhe. I'm honored to share a case of education leadership with you today. The distributed leadership practice at Hilltop Elementary School in suburban London case in interaction since 2010. Principal James Smith highlighted Hilltop Elementary using a course stress distributed leadership. Simply put, instead of one principal making all decisions, it shared leadership responsibility with a broader team, letting teachers, grade leaders, and staff work together on school management and decisions. They are stress, weakness, opportunities, stress. So stress through SWOT is here what work well. Clear diligence system, grade level leaders, join crowd decisions making and attend regular leaders read the table meeting so more with and heard. Teacher leadership program. Teachers are encouraged to lead curriculum reform, for example, designing new teaching activities or start student projects. Collaboration, culture principle, Jane impressive collaborate out commode with his improve teacher satisfaction and made the team more on team. So transparent decisions share online platform record all decisions making progress so everyone study informed and evolved. Weakness, but they are colleges too. New teacher like sport leader in to role confess. Young teachers often struggle to balance teaching youth with new leadership tasks. Unlike information flow, increase information in and some staff meetings on important updates because communication isn't always smooth. Middle manager and overloaded grade leaders and have to handle both teaching, supporting, and extra management work, which can cause stress. Opportunities. External factor to consider opportunities. So UK execution plus support made leadership giving the school plus backing. The schools share experience through the learning network program, leading for older school. Teachers growing need for profession development and new teach to create a good condition for the distributed leadership. Stress. Education assessment forced more or result prices with might put school back to centralized power. High teacher turnover, bagged inmates, and community involvement make it harder to maintain team stability and collaboration. So, contention from the case, we learn 3 key points. Successful studies with the principle, clean vision, and a strong framework to support shared leadership. Continuous studying is crucial experience for your teacher and middle manager to adapt to her role. The organization's structure must staff well, for example, improving information share and reduction into workload of grad leaders. So, in the way of education reform, distributed leadership show us that sharing power and responsibilities can unlock a school's potential and improve overall education quality. Okay, thank you.